Alright everybody, welcome to HGR on a... Hold up. Alright everybody, welcome to HGR on a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth calling HGR tonight. Right now, fastest in practice as they stand. A lot of drivers already made a few laps with about 9 minutes to go here in practice. Joey Allen on top of the board, Quentin Stanbach, Christopher Carter, Steve Sizemore, and Carl Lingle, the top 5. And while we're here, we got it going. Let's go ahead and pull up the man right now, fastest in practice at the moment. Joey Allen, do I got the right one?
Hello, hello.
My buddy right now is sitting on top of the practice charts, P1. What's it going to take for this 23 to get the win tonight?
It always involves a little bit of luck, being over here. You can't be in the wrong spot, but yeah, just basically trying to stay out of trouble and have some good luck towards the end and make sure you put yourself in a spot where you can do something with it.
Now, what is the key takeaways? We know that the Xfinity counterpart, the Gen 6 is. We know how they are. How are these cars different between the Gen 6s and what the Xfinity car is?
To me, you can turn these. You can get them loose as well, especially in the tri-oval. Guys are trying to get a little bit more out of you right there in the tri-oval, and sometimes it don't work out too well. But yeah, I like these. I think these are more stable in the draft. I guess it's opinion. I think the Gen 6, you don't draft quite the same you do with these in the truck. It's kind of hard to explain. You don't want to be beating the hell out their bumper as much as you do with these two.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll look forward to seeing how you can do tonight. Hopefully we'll be talking to you at the end of this thing.
Yes, sir, brother. I appreciate you. I know you're going to put on a good show tonight.
I'm going to do my best. Joey Allen right now, quickest in practice with 7 minutes left. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you, bud.
It's a little bit of a small pack here. This is what you're going to be accustomed to seeing. A lot of drivers working in two-car tandems. They can. In the pack. Right now we're going back down through the 6th through 10th. This is Benjamin Elliott, James Waring, Jason Branch, Jeff Murray, Sean Futrell. That is the top 10 as they run. Really get to see how these drivers really work in a pack together, how they're trying to figure out how does 3 wide work, what's the best case scenario for these cars, pretty much strategizing, seeing how they get in the draft. The 3 wide action. But that's about the best thing you have is see some slower cars coming up, like the Wingo, one of them. Mark Vondale, Justin Johnson just posted their first laps, 1:01:30 for Vondale, 16th quickest, and a 1:13 for Johnson. We got our first commenter in the chat box. How you doing tonight, Jim? Got a Carl Lingle fan tonight. Right now, Lingle posted 7th quickest at the moment with just under 5.5 minutes to go. Pretty much you're just seeing what you're going to see tonight. Drivers practicing 2 and 3 wide for the most part, just learning how to run a great lap. Martin Vondale, top of the board this time, 50.72. Jason Branch slides up into 3rd. And amazing how it changes just a minute ago. Joey Allen top of the board now. He gets knocked back down into the sixth spot. Around again. Stand by now. I see going, making it 3 wide to 8 of. I can't tell who that 8 is. Not Steve Sizemore. But 8 shuffled out of line. Jeff Mark stuck in the middle now. Clinton Stanbach in that bottom line with John Darnell. James Warren also. Of course, if it's James Warren, you're really looking to turn your luck around. I can say the same for several drivers. Sean Corbett, one of them as well. Quentin Stanbach had a couple good races that have not gone the way he needed it to. How about the other Elliott that's in this mix, Richard Elliott? He's in the same boat as Keeney. Had really been at the front a lot of races. Have not been able to get that first win. You see Carl Lingle going to fall back in line here. Can't pull another driver in real fast. Green flag pit stops happen now, or at least a practice for them. Join me in the booth, Michael Wingo. You got a copy?
Gotcha, bud.
Well, buddy, first off, ain't been too bad of a practice. 13th quickest. Do you feel like the car's got good qualifying pace for tonight?
Yeah, it does. As long as I don't make any mental mistakes like I have been the last 2 races, gonna be fine.
Well, buddy, we just saw one of the clean pit stops. However, was not that many drivers. What's one thing you think that you're going to try to do to avoid any mistakes on pit road tonight? Is it stay out another lap and try to go with a smaller pack, or are you just going to try to fall back in, try not to be up there in the mix during the green flag pit stops? What's the plan, presuming that we have any?
Yeah, I'm just gonna pit with my teammates and where I've been messing up. I've been at the top a lot. It's just I've been messing up when I'm coming out of the pits, losing like a lot of ground. So that's something I've been practicing on, and hope I've fixed it tonight.
All right, buddy. Well, we look forward to seeing it right now. Michael Wingo, 13th in practice with a minute and a half left. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Peace.
Yep. One thing to always look for. Half the battle is making it to the end. The other half is making it on and off pit road cleanly. If you can do that, and you have very well put yourself in a position to maybe win one of these races, cash out some money. So right now, Vondale, Merck, Stanbach, Waring, and Futrell. That is the top 5. Elliott, Darnell, Branch, Allen, Carter. The top 10. Then you got Steve Sizemore, Carl Lingle, Michael Wingo, Justin Johnson, Garrett Cashwell rounds out the top 15. Several drivers, well, a couple drivers have not yet posted a lap. Right now, looks like about 24 drivers on hand. Well, that being said, Richard Elliott and Sean Corbett actually knocked Vondale off. I know one Elliott's fast tonight, at least in practice. Would have be Benjamin. So wait to see who the first driver to really make a lap will be. The 19, Garrett Caswell. Right behind him, the 03, Kenneth McCullough Jr. So Caswell and McCullough will be the first ones to lay down a lap time. Sean Corbett's just run out, as is John Ward. Justin Johnson just run out as well, so at least 5 drivers. Well, several drivers are going to be making their first qualifying laps here. You only get one, and it's got to be mistake-free. Made one mistake, it's probably going to cost you a great starting position. Good, Garrett Caswell will lead us off in qualifying. Back to the field over McCullough. Well, Sean Corbett, John Ward as well. John Ward in a throwback paint job tonight. Meanwhile, we'll focus on Garrett Caswell for a moment. Caswell not fast in second one, gives McCullough actually the fastest to the first half of the racetrack. At the line though, Garrett Caswell will post the first lap. The time to beat. 54.115. See McCullough to the apron. He's actually going to pick up some time. It'll be enough to knock off Garrett Caswell barely at 54.103. Corbett and Ward will take the top 2 spots. 54.0 for Corbett, a 54.102 for John Ward. Justin Johnson crosses the line fifth quickest. James Waring, we'll tune in on him. So it looks like he'll be one of the next ones to post a lap. Darnell slides into 7th quickest. Wandell in 7th, and James Waring's time will put him 5th quickest at the moment. Well, Michael Wingo's going to be the next one. Try to top the pole sitter of Sean Corbett at the line, survey says. Wingo 11th quickest. Richard Elliott, I believe, just finishing his as well. Elliott will slide into 4th. Christopher Carter, and a great throwback as well. And at the line, Carter 6th. Quentin Standbox, Steve Sizemore, the next ones to take a shot at the pole. Standbox time will be 7th quickest. Steve Sizemore, top of the board. Joshua Halford slides into 14th. 36 seconds to go. And it looks like Steve Sizemore will very well have this all wrapped up. And he will. Yep, 11 seconds. So we'll go ahead and pull into Steve Sizemore real fast. Steve Sizemore, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Talking to me?
Yes, sir.
I got you, brother.
Well, buddy, a great start off tonight, but we know how these things can typically go. But
Yeah.
does it give you a little bit of motivation tonight?
Yeah, I'm motivated every night, but like you said, we know how these things go.
Well, buddy, it's a badass looking number 8 tonight. Real fast.
Thank you.
You got I guess you could say some friends all around you tonight.
Yes,
Do you
sir.
feel like, what really is the first step to this? Is it trying to get off of pit road on and off safely to have a shot at this, or is it just about
Yep.
trying to survive it to the end? Which one do you feel like will be a little more important?
On and off pit row. That's my nemesis lately. Getting in my box good, getting out good, making sure you got all your boxes checked right, your fuel, tires, and don't get behind coming off pit row.
All right, buddy. We'll look forward to seeing that number 8 here return to victory lane. Best of luck to you tonight.
All right, buddy. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Steve Sizemore on pole. Of course, one of them drivers looking to break through, knock off a little bit of bad luck as of late. Him and several others will go through the starting grid tonight. So Steve Sizemore on pole, Sean Corbett second. Speaking of drivers trying to knock off the bad luck, both for the front row. Looking to return to victory lane night, John Ward, Kenneth McCullough, 3rd and 4th, Richard Elliott, Garrett Caswell, 5th and 6th, Christopher Carter, Quentin Stanbach, 7th, 8th, James Warren, Jeff Murray, 9th and 10th, Jason Branch, Mark Vondell, 11th and 12th. That rounds out the fast 12. On back through the field, John Darnell, Joshua Halford, 13th, 14th, Justin Johnson, Michael Wingo, 15th and 16th, Jackson Buys, Austin Green, 17th and 18th. Josh McCullough, Sean Futrell, one of them that did not post a lap. Matter of fact, 17th on down did not post a lap, but McCullough and Futrell, 19th and 20th. Benjamin Elliott, Joey Allen, 21st, 22nd, Ambrose Knievel, and Carl Long through the Blind Squirrel Racing Duos, 23rd and 24th. That actually will round out the heat. That being said, well, you can't pull somebody else over if they can. Get Quentin Stanbach in here. Quentin Stanbach, Garrett Jenkins up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Gotcha. How's it
Well,
going?
Well, it's going great, buddy. Going real good. The pride of Cheyenne, Wyoming, right rolling off. Back in the 6th or 8th spot tonight, buddy. Does the 22 Wrangler have what it takes to get to the front?
I hope so. I qualified well. It looks like half the field didn't qualify, so we'll see there. But we got to work on pit stops. I've been having some trouble getting into the pits in the right speed, so going a little too fast lately. So just work on pit stops, I think. And I think we only really need 1, maybe 2. So let's see. I don't know what the fuel looks like.
All right, buddy. Well, best of luck to you. Hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yes, sir. With Sean Corbett, Steve Sizemore will be breaking it down. Cincinnati Reynolds. Restart zone to get 42 laps of HGR kick started tonight. And we're rolling. Sizemore just a little bit of advantage down the back straightaway, bottom lane in third. I wouldn't say quite yet. When I say quite yet, the bottom lane has the advantage right now. Corbin and McCullough coming on the outside. Fourth against McCullough. No further in the victory lane. Been a victory lane in the HGR series 1 or 2 times. That's been broadcasted. So the 03 always a threat here. Really is always a factor no matter where we go at the line. Getting Steve Sizemore. We lead the first lap tonight. So here comes Corbin going to run to the outside. Again, your Achilles tendon to the outside lane. They give it up on entry, but the run they generate off turn 2 and turn 4 and through the tri-oval really does make up for it. You see Corbin now with enough to clear Sizemore if he wants to. He'll go down and cut Sizemore off. McCullough pulling the outside lane. Now he's got Garrett Caswell, Quentin Standbach, Jeff Murray, just to name a few. Into on the outside lane, but not a bad bottom lane as well. Corbett, Sizemore. You'll see John Ward in different colors tonight. The quarterback, 2010 superstar. McCullough at the line. Lead his first laps tonight. You see McCullough now is going to cover the bottom. Really a choosy situation. Who you want to cover? Do you want to cover Caswell? Do you want to cover Corbin? Really, McCullough won them. He can work the 2 lanes if he wants to. Garrett Caswell, Quentin Standby trying to make something happen. Jeff Murray bails and comes down to the bottom. 4th car on the inside now in that red and blue number 60. Back up to the top. At the line. Caswell barely. He lead his first lap tonight. Really bottom lane. Really kind of have deteriorated a little bit. I mean, it's amazing to see that McCullough, Corbin, and Sizemore are able to really work the bottom without John Ward hooked up to him and the rest of them. Doing everything they can to get off Garrett Caswell and Quentin Standby. Gonna be 38 at the line. It's been 2x2 since the start of this race. Quentin hung out dry, went to the top side. Don't know if it was by choice or just to get that motor off, but Standby will be dropping back. At the line, getting to McCullough again. McCullough went 2 laps already. Garrett Caswell, however, has only led Foster free so far. Joseph Allen off the pace, 29 seconds back, has lost the draft. So really the draft is pretty clear. Very soon. Right now, as they work off of 4 again, front two hasn't changed in the last 2 laps. Still Caswell, McCullough leading. Garrett Caswell making his return tonight. The HGR at the line. Caswell will tie it up. And he immediately dropped down to the bottom. Kind of jumbled at that bottom lane. Just kind of snaked away going into turn number 1. But now McCullough is clear if he wants to jump up and cover that outside lane and try to get the run off the top again. He can, or if you're McCullough, you could have just rode, but against McCullough up to the outside lane, not your spinning rider right now. McCullough easily to clear, does not take it. See Quentin stand by trying to make a 3rd lane for him. Austin Green jumps up with him as well. Right now, he's pretty close to the outside lane. 3rd lane really not going to be able to come to the front. Well, ahead after slowly making their way up there. Got for a little bit of a point. Still side by side with McCullough's. They're coming off a 4. Standbot's coming. Pushed on Standbot across the path earlier in the race. Car trying to pull that motor off, and now it would appear that he's ready to challenge for the lead again. Right now, 3x3, about 3 rows deep, making 4 actually. Here comes Standbot with a run on the outside lane at the line. Kevin McCullough still will lead. Sizemore down on the apron. Sizemore safe for the moment. Somebody else was not. Michael Wingo all out of shape. Michael Wingo recovers it. We'll look back and see what happened real fast. Check up on the bottom. Ward gets inside. More great shape on Sizemore. They'll come back up and flip to 25. Hell of a save from both drivers. Massive save by both drivers, but that has caused Wingo to lose the draft for the moment. Meanwhile, Quentin Standby has made the pass for the lead on Keith McCullough. But at the line, Quentin Standby leads for the first time tonight. Officially, that is. There goes Jeff Merck to the outside with Mark Mondell. Justin Johnson's worked himself up into the top 10. He's moving outside the top 5. Driver that 82, really Cummins, been on a great run. The results haven't showed it, but the 82's been on a roll the last 3 or 4 races that's been broadcasted. Right now, Standby still lead. Jeff Mertz second, Keith McCullough third, Mark Mondell fourth, Garrett Caswell runs out top 5. Going to be 33 to go this time by. Right now, Standby's jumped up to the middle lane and put the bomb open for McCullough. Outside lane. I mean, they're making great time. They really are. But right now, I just don't see the outside lane really trying to get up there enough to challenge for the lead. We saw how great it was in the 3 cars. Obviously, Standby took the lead from it. Burt will go up to join the outside lane. How about Richard Elliott, Steve Sizemore trying to come back up to the field? You see what they did that third lane. Meanwhile, McCullough down to the line. He'll lead his 5th lap of the race tonight, maybe. Give him Standby action. Just is hanging on to that outside lane up to the 3rd row now. 3x3 down the back straightaway. McCullough comes up the block. He'll lead the bottom open for Caswell. McCullough almost gets turned. Going up on the lap on the slower car of Justin Allen, Joey Allen. Of course, lost the draft right at the get-go of the race, and now if he didn't need a caution before, he'll need it now. They're going to be 4 wide through the tri-oval. Justin Johnson on the apron, keeps it straight. Driver's been at the front, constantly trying to lead that outside lane. Jeff Murray has not officially led a lap tonight. Neither has pretty much everybody from 4th on down near about. See McCullough now back down to the bottom, going to cover Garrett Caswell. Standby now trying to pull that middle line back up. See John Darnell actually going to the middle line. If he can get back off the green, that 87, it will be a very it will really help that middle lane, because right now they're stuck side by side with the outside lane. Right now, top 21 cars separated by only 1.7 seconds. All right, staying 3 wide, almost some contact for the 59 minutes. Garrett Caswell out in front. He's already led 3 laps tonight, trying to lead some more. Quentin Standbox also led 3. McCullough's led 5. Them are really big. You're only 3 leaders tonight. There's going to be 29 to go this time. At some point, they'll be thinking about green flag pit stop. Maybe not right now, but probably the next 10 to 12 laps estimated. Oh, here comes a couple now. Here comes Corbett in. Here comes several of them in, actually. Sundrive's locking it up. Chasing Brand. Almost got to it back to Richard Elliott. Able to get it woed up. No penalties right now for the moment. That's just 6 cars. Perhaps a strategy call, maybe. We'll have to see how the other field comes. If they'll come within the next 2 or 3, 5 laps at the most, or if they stay out longer. Right now, Austin Green and John Darnell leading. Green able to get ahead just a little bit outside lane's going to try to come back. Here comes Darnell with Murray. 88 of Sean Futrell with them. And at the line, Jeff Murray barely will lead his first lap officially tonight. There you see Futrell on the outside. Benjamin Elliott, Kev McCullough trying to pull that outside lane back up. Steve Sizemore jumps aboard with them. 4 cars to tackle the remaining midfield on the inside. Right now, I think most of the field's trying to get lined up for green flag pit stops. Whether it'll be now or if they'll be several laps from now, we'll have to figure it out. Michael Wingo was the first one off of, well, no, Wingo is not pitted. Sean Corbett was the first one off the pit road with this group of cars. That is 17th on down. All the way down to, I believe, Jason Branch is telling them this is 4 cars, Waring and Carter both running by themselves, and Joseph Allen, of course, already 1 lap down. Michael Wingo actually is not having a tractor partner either. He is 25 seconds behind. Pretty much outside lane deteriorating. Only 2 cars, that would be Elliott and Futrell. Right now, it is the point for these leaders. They just want to ride and run it out for the moment. Then gradually, you see it now. Pretty much top 16 drivers looking to run it dry. Corbett, Ward, Elliott, Branch have all pitted. Below that, James Ward and Christopher Porter as well has made a pit stop. With 26 to go, some drivers, forget which driver said it was, but they could potentially make it maybe on a 1 stop, possibly 2. Wade has 22 a Stenbach running in 10th. Right now, strategy's been opened up for Ward and Elliott, Corbett, Brandt, Waring for quarter 1. Strategy's been opened up. Biggest movers since start this race. Right now, a tie for the front 2. Austin Green, Sean Futrell, Benjamin Elliott. All 3 up 15 spots. John Darnell up 11. Carl Lingle up 10. Jeff Murray up 9 spots from where they started this race. Right now. Right now, they're still choosing to keep it going here. You see John Darnell's jumped up to the outside lane. He wants to try to lead a lap tonight. He will successfully do it. First lap led by Darnell with a great push from Futrell. The 99 sideways, then he had to jump off before he turned him. Right now, depending on how long this pack continues to run, just in front of them in the middle of turn 3 and 4, James Waring and Christopher Carter, 21st and 22nd right now, are in jeopardy of going one lap down. Really at this point and at this stage of it, they can probably go a max, maybe anywhere from 19 to maybe 23, 24 laps, just estimating. Don't have an actual answer. They're already on a 19-lap run as it's saying now, so just have to see how it plays. Pretty sure if they can go that long, they might be able to make it on just one stop. I got you, buddy. I can make that happen after the race. Right now, Jeff Merritt has tied Tim McCullough tonight in most laps led at 5. With 22 to go, Darnell out to dry on the outside lane. Well, best thing 99 can do, he'll hope somebody lets him in. As a matter of fact, Futrell will, but here comes McCullough and Sizemore. Try to make that outside lane work. Sizemore blends back in line. The 7th or 8th car, black, yellow, and green. Was a great paint job for Steve Sizemore, 99, a rocking paint job. A lot of great paint jobs tonight. Well, right now, single file out, fuel saving mode evidently has been engaged finally for all drivers. Right now, Merritt still leads. He'll take over the most laps led tonight. At 6 and counting. Austin Green, Mark Mondell, John Darnell, Sean Futrell. That's the top 5, followed by Elliott, McCullough, Sizemore, Caswell, Clinton Stanbot rounds out the top 10. So with 20 laps to go, anybody want to shout out their pick to win tonight, or pretty much a favorite driver in general? You can go ahead and do that in the chat. As you see up there in the distance, Waring and Carter both about to be lapped here within the next lap, within the next lap, a lap and a half. Pretty much just to be expected. We've gone caution free. I'm pretty sure if we hadn't gone caution free the first 22 laps, then there probably wouldn't be saving fuel as much. But right now, single file off. That's pretty much what you're seeing. The other factor is difference between a lot of these cars trying to prevent that engine from overheating as well. Several factors go really into this. Well, it's pretty much you can get on and off pit road. Who can keep the motor cool and who has the most luck. Of course, John Ward, Sean Corbett, and a couple others have already made their pit stop. The only car one lap down, Justin Allen. And it looks like they'll stay out for another lap. If that ain't good 24 laps, gonna take the field more than what I thought it would be running. Of course, an HGR. Of course, tonight they're running 75% fuel. So potentially it could just be a one-stop race to the end. 75%, that's a little bit more than what they normally run. 75% last week. So 75%, you're seeing it now pretty much. They can go just about one stop, which makes you wonder. Ward and them pitted now 12 laps to go. I think is this strategy call. Could they make it on fuel to make it to the end? Right now you see Carter Waring about to go a lap down. So the pit road strategy game has not worked for Carter or Waring. That was bad news from 23 of Allen as well. But right now Joseph Allen out of the 3 cars now 1 lap down. Allen is third on the list. Murray leading here. You see now the bottom lanes kind of came back together because several drivers will try to let the 13 and the 18 push. Will give McCullough first in line. Garrett Caswell couldn't stand by. Justin Johnson just a name of few at the line. Murray still leading. The bottom. Burris will slide down that line. So right now as they run. With Buchel, with Elliott, Steve Sizemore. See John immediately back down to the bottom. Here comes the pack for the first point. 3 of them stay out. So far, so good. Nutter not. A little bit of contact. Stand by to go down to the grass. Okay, slightly more chaotic, but this is the majority of the front runners. Future, Elliott, Sizemore all decide to stay out. 27 laps is where these drivers could run. What they do is get Waring and Carter their laps back for the moment. Got it. Top 3 consistent of Futrell, Benjamin Elliott, Steve Sizemore. They'll have to be in this time or within the next lap. Ultimately, it could be a great strategy call. There'll be only 3 coming to pit road. Won't have to worry about getting run over or nothing. Yeah, here they come. Justin Johnson, black flag, too fast entering. The day has gone. What was a promising day for Justin Johnson has now ended. Keep an eye here. McCullough, Jackson, Buys, Green, Darnell, and Murray. This is 4th on back, so what Sizemore is going down, they need to hurry up and get out of this pit road. They're not going to be able to do it successfully. That means will officially take the lead once he gets around Steve Sizemore. Jackson Cullen back out front with 14 to go. That we ain't heard nothing out of all day. Jackson Buys worked himself up in the second. Austin Green's at the front majority of night. So is Rondell Murray. Here comes Caswell in tow. So now 14 to go. Now the race is really going. Here Here comes Ward, Corbett, Brandt, Quentin Standbach, just to name a few. What do we got here? About the top 10. Top 12 actually. Race for the win. Everybody else, of course, Justin Johnson still has to answer the black flag given to him. Steve Sizemore going right back there as well. So the plan evidently has not worked for Sizemore now. 14th on down, really banking for a call. Still 2x2. Garrett Caswell trying to pull John Ward on the outside lane. Standby, Richard Elliott, Darnell, Corbett, Brandt. Well, we go at the line. Garrett Caswell. Jeff Merritt now up to cover. Caswell going try to. Ward ran high just a little bit, able to blend back in line. Here comes Kev McCullough with a huge push from off the green. So really McCullough, like we said, has been the entire race. The pretty much drivers at the front right now settling this have been in no way, shape, or form in the top 10. Michael Wingo about to go one lap down. Had a great save earlier in the race, but ever since then he has not been able to get caught up to the main pack until now, unfortunately, losing a lap because of it. Well, good news for Wingo. There's a caution. He'll be the first car one lap down. He can stay with the draft here. Good work, still working both lanes. Caswell, you see the car get loose. Ward's really pushing him. They're going to be more unforgiving the closer we get. They're going to push you whether you want to be pushed or not, no matter, it don't really matter where they push you. Well, the tension's going to start picking up. Right now, still 12 drivers in the Caswell leads his fifth lap. Jason Brandt trying to get somebody to go up there for the third lane. Unfortunately, not happening right now. Merrick back up to the middle lane to cover Caswell. Almost gets turned to 60, way sideways. Open the door for McCullough, back to the bottom with Green run down. Jackson by in tow. 4 cars on the bottom trying to stay strong against the middle lane. We see it outside lane. Brandt. And John Darnell really faded back, really did not get nowhere where they wanted to. They didn't really lose nothing. They're back there to about the 11th truck spot anyway. Working a lane control. He's doing everything he needs to do. Cover the bottom, cover top, back to the bottom. The only issue is every time he covers that top, Caswell gives him a shot. He chooses to stay down there with McCullough this time. Caswell side by side. Top 5 drivers get paid out tonight for what we're seeing. So right now, if you're in a top 5 spot, which will be John Ward covering the last of it, you know, it switches every second. But at the moment, Ward will be their last one. 8 to go, third quarter. Brandt still trying to get somebody go up there with him. On that outside lane, him and Darnell just cannot do it by themselves. Down the back straightaway. running the most laps tonight. Jeff Murray led 14. The next question will be Jeff McCullough in 6th. Derek Caswell led 5. Second state is 60 and got the first lap set up. The question is, can he survive the next 7 and win this race? He's got a great chance as long as he keeps doing what he's doing. He knows he's got, if he can cover McCullough and Caswell and work the lines again like he was doing earlier, he'll have a chance. The big issue, and right now Caswell almost able to clear. The big issue is if they do make it 3 wide. You're going to cover all 3 lanes. You're not. That's the best thing to do. But right now, you see he'll cover Caswell again. And I guarantee when he gets clear of McCullough, he's going to go back down to the bottom, try to cover that track behind. Going 2 laps down now after his pit road violation. Yes, McCullough actually able to surge ahead for the moment. Here comes Murray now with the run on the outside lane. That camera will give you a great perspective of what we mean by getting a run on the outside lane, able just enough to clear him and Murray back down to the bottom. We're going to be fighting to go. They're not really making a move yet, but you got to think there's going to be drivers. They're not going to settle. If I'm 6th on back, I ain't going to settle and get right. I'm going to do something better. The top 5. Get a little bit of extra money in my pocket. Well, Murray can immediately back in to cover Caswell. He knows that run's going to be coming. At some point, though, is Caswell or Ward or one of the drivers going to stick it 3 wide? A bit of aggressive push, and they'll almost get bottlenecked up on this just a little bit. McCullough still pulling that bottom lane. Him and Austin Green's been hooked up the majority of this race, especially since the last round of pit stops was completed. See Murray back down to the bottom. Jordan, the leaders went 27 laps. If you look in between there, John Ward, Elliott, Corbett, Branch, all of them pitted 25 laps ago. The question is for them, are they not making any moves because they're trying to save fuel? My guess is no, because John Ward is in the outside lane, 3x3 again. Elliott and Corbett, speaking of the ones that pitted early, that's in the running gear. It's going to be 3 to go right now. Darnell has not chosen to go with that 3rd lane. Now he does. Branch looks to select the middle. At the line to follow the lead. Austin Green jumped up to the middle. Getting pushed by Caswell. Green has not led a lap officially tonight. Trying to change down and lead the next 3. Down the back straightaway, 3x3 again. See Vondell Murray trying to get Vondell's really got the lift out of it here. That's really going to hurt Green actually. Bottom lane. Not hooked up as well as what they need to be. John Ward out front for the moment. Green battling back. Richard Elliott trying to make that 3rd lane work. They're going to be coming to 2 to go this time. Really, I don't know who to pick the 2 to go. Ward his first lap tonight denies Austin Green a lap. Being led. Green back to the bottom with McCullough. Now Green will cover Ward. Of course, really the 3rd lane not a factor right now unless they get another 1 or 2 cars up there to really help them get to the front right now. Between Green and McCullough and everybody else in that middle lane. If they can just make it back to the white flag, it was not now. They just got to make it off of 4 and through the tri-oval. To trouble, Austin Green with the lead for the moment. Here comes McCullough at the bottom. White flag lap, Austin Green leads. Ward coming back to the middle, Green cross down to the bottom. Well, Ward and Caswell really trying to make something happen. Stanbach as well. A little bit of beating and banging between the 16 and 22. Down the back straightaway. Ward out in front for the moment. Third lane still trying to make something happen. Contact between Caswell and Green. They won't never make it back. No, because they're almost 4 wide mid-pack. Ward out front. Well, John Ward has not led but one lap, and it was right at the end. They'll jump undercover Caswell. They're in trouble for the final time. Darnell and Elliott into the wall. 2 cars wrecking Merrick around at the line. John Ward will win it at Talladega. Barely. Only led 2 laps, but it was the 2 that counted. And John Ward on a roll. Second win in the last 2, 3 or 4 broadcasts. 2023 PGR champion. Back to victory lane in HGR again. What a run. Michael Wingo. Rex out. Well, I'm sure there's several drivers back there still. Top 5 unofficially. Austin Green, Garrett Caswell round out second and third. Kenneth McCullough and Jeff Murray will round out the top 5 paying positions. What a run. We'll let John Ward celebrate for the moment, and then we'll pull him up for an interview. Gonna get him in here. John Ward, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy, buddy? Well, buddy, you only led 2 laps, and it was really the 2 laps that mattered. Can you tell me about this? Can you tell me about setting up the strategy called a pit way earlier than everybody else? And then can you tell me pretty much how you're able to work yourself back from like 9th up to the lead with about 3 to go?
Yeah, it was it stayed caution free, I think, for the most part there. We pitted early. Man, I'm so used to guys following me pit that I figured we was going to get a bunch. We didn't have but a handful, and we were just trying to hold pace with the whole pack. So it was kind of rough, and I didn't know if they was going to stay out and come in, but we ended up pushing good enough to stay with them there. So when they pit, we came out together, and that helped us out there. So we was in good position at the end. I know I'm only leading a couple laps at the end, but I guess that's all it takes there. At the end, they were pushing hard. Garrett was hot. They were all, I didn't know which lane to go in, and it was a rough one. I feel like I was doing a little blocking. Usually I don't do that, but I think I did a little blocking tonight.
Yeah, you did a lot of blocking. A lot of things. I do want to ask you how. We know that the lane control is important, but we'll see drivers get to run off the top side. They'll immediately go down to the bottom. Why is that exactly? Because you know the outside lane's going to get a run off. We saw Jeff Murray really working the lane control off and on throughout the race. But what's the difference in trying to cover the bottom the moment you get the lead? Is it try to prevent being side by side with the bottom? Like, what's the strategy behind that?
Yeah. The leader, when Merck was going up, he was letting Kenny get air because he only could push for so long before you get hot. So he would go on the bottom, which is the fastest way around. Then when Kenny was getting warm, he would go up to Garrett. And it was Jared's choice to either to push him or jump out and go around him, you know. And I was ready. I told Garrett I was ready to go out around him. And every time he jumped up, Garrett was just pushing him. So I figured everybody behind us was riding. I was like, I know they're going to jump up in that third lane pretty soon. But when they did, when Merck went back up or whatever, we jumped to the third lane and hooked up. It wasn't at the best time, but I knew we'd finally get a run eventually. And anyways, when you get to run on top, Richard he was pushing me so hard that he was hot. So I told him as soon as I got clear, I was gonna go all the way down if it was clear. That way to give the middle open to where he can get into the middle there. But I think I got down to the middle, and I told him as soon as I can get to the bottom, I'll get to the bottom. But the main reason is get him temperature up there because he's running hot, pushing me, and that also gives the guy behind him time to maybe push him by too if there's room.
All right, buddy. Well, a hell of a drive. Nonetheless, even if it was 2 laps, being led 2023 PGR champion, a 7-time PGR Intimidator winner. Real fast, the next question comes. Is there anybody want to thank tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc. The floor is yours.
Yeah. First thing I want to thank Jesus and the Lord for everything. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even be here doing this, doing nothing, anything. So him first. You for putting on the broadcast. I want to thank Richard Elliott there. If it wasn't for him on top, we organized it. Him and Sean Corbett. We were all working together there. They wasn't able to get by, but they pushed me by. So I'm going to help them out with some of the winnings there. And that's about it. Everybody associated with Dega Pros, and thank you for broadcasting.
No problem, buddy. John Ward leads 2 laps, but it's enough to get the win tonight. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thank you.
Yep. Let's see, next driver up here, Austin Green, will finish second. Austin Green, Garrett Jenkins up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty good. Great run for you. Stayed in the top 5 almost the majority of the night. I got to ask, was there anything you felt like you could have done different in them closing laps? Was there a way you felt like you could have somehow prevented Ward from getting up there, or was it pretty much just game over from that point?
There probably was something I could have done, but I was more so just trying to hang on the last couple of laps. I don't know if I just don't really race these cars enough anymore, or if the tires were just more worn out than I thought, but it felt like once I got up front, pretty much every push I got was a good push, and it got me going forward, but it just was like, it felt like every push was setting the car out of shape, and I was almost losing it, especially the last lap there. The good news was obviously that I had a teammate behind me in Ken, so I knew he wouldn't turn me. I just knew that the pushes were obviously going to be big, and a couple of them, it's just like I kept thinking I had the car set for it, and I just couldn't do it. But, Ward getting clear, I didn't even realize that was him either because he was in a different car. But when he got clear and I saw him kind of fighting out back in the 3 wide, I was kind of okay with just sitting there and pushing. And then if somehow the run all of a sudden charged up on the inside, we'd make a move. But I was pretty comfortable coming out of it there, and I was happy to see Ken able to also finish in the money for pushing me quite a bit there.
Yeah, it was a great run for you. Only led 1 lap. Like I said, a factor all night. I got to ask, how hard is it from a driver's standpoint, just riding, trying to save fuel? You're single file. You want to lead. You want to make passes, but at the end, how do the drivers cope knowing that they got to sit there and run single file? It can be aggravating. It can be boring and long at some point, but really, like, how does the aspect come into play?
Yeah, it can get a little tough. This one isn't too bad because I think the fuel run was somewhere around 26 laps, and we raced for a while there at the start, so that helped. But yeah, when you get single file for a while, it starts to get a little boring. You kind of get relaxed because you're just looking at the same bumper in front of you every lap. But I try to think of it as I like to get to the pit stop because usually you're able to thin out, 5 to 10 cars, depending on how big the pit stop is. And that always obviously helps your chances, less guys that you have to try to battle at the end. So I think that part helps a little bit, but it's definitely more fun when you get to the end, you can get racing.
Yes, sir, buddy. And I've never liked running single file. I'm just going to admit I've never liked winning myself. I ain't got the patience for it. But you've been interviewed a couple times now, so you know the last question coming up. Is there anybody you want to shout out tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I want to give a thanks to the teammates over at McCullough Motorsports, Mark and Kenny. Both had good runs. I think Mark even finished in the cash, which would be all 3 of us finishing there, so that's good. big thanks to obviously you for putting on the broadcast, Jimmy for putting on these races. And then I do want to give a shout out to the PGR Esports SummerSlam 499 coming up in a couple weeks. PGR's second biggest event, so hopefully everybody's getting signed up for that. And I think that's about it.
All right, buddy. Congratulations on a P2 finish, Austin Green. Come up one spot short. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Next one up. One of my personal favorite drivers. And not because we share the same first name, just unbiased. Go ahead and pull up Garrett Caswell. Garrett Jenkins up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Well, buddy, it was a solid outing for you tonight. Led a handful of laps. I'm being shown 6 at the moment. But, buddy, you were really providing some great pushes, but did you feel like that if you had the opportunity, you feel like you could have pulled that 19 up enough to get clear for the lead?
I don't know. There was like a couple, I'd say like 15 seconds where I think it was Austin who dropped down or up, and I got to get a little bit of clean air, but then as soon as that happened, Ward hopped down, and it was really just a battle with temps trying to get it across the line because everyone just wanted to come to my line, I guess, and my car was on fire, so yeah, probably I don't know. I could have gone with Corbett, but I don't. Earlier on in the race, when I was late in the bottom, he didn't really push me at all, so I didn't really want to take the risk there. But kind of happy with the way we're finishing today, coming out with a little bit of money, but definitely could have done better.
Yes, sir, buddy. Now you're bringing up the temps, and I really want to ask you a question of really how much strategy really goes into this type of race. And most people look at this massive over 2.5 mile facility and think, oh, we just hold the foot wide open and floor it all the way through. But in all honesty, how much strategy and preparation does it really go into these races, and how do you overcome pretty much most obstacles, one of them being, the car's overheating, but you're up there fighting for the lead. How do you really balance all of them?
I mean, I've been doing this for a long time, so it's mainly seat time. That's the best way you can prepare for it and just learn certain situations, but there's also just so much which you can't prepare for, which is the main one being just cars around you, how they do, who they're working with, if they can keep it straight or not, and wrecks and etc. But and events like these, strategy wise, there's a lot of strategy which goes into it, but we got a good community here at HGR, so a lot of us are friends with each other and can just hop into a call with each other and plan that out. And as long as you have at least 6 guys who can get in and out of pit road without destroying themselves or getting a black flag, then you're pretty much in the green. But in besides that, if I didn't have those guys, we got some good crew chiefs over at GTCR Motorsports, so
all right,
we're pretty set up there.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it was a fast Toyota tonight. The next question coming up, is there anybody you want to thank, friends, family, sponsors, etc.? The floor is yours.
Definitely parents, grandparents, great grandparents, all of y'all watching out there. Appreciate it. Unfortunately, a good bit of the times it's not always the finish we want, but we've been kind of building ourselves back up on money and funding and overall finishes, so that's good. GTCR Motorsports, really proud of what we're doing over there. Not just in super speedway money racing, but League Money Racing. We been doing really good over there, and T&J Bar and Grill, Premier Racing Setups, got a good group of guys over there, and yeah, Mad Cherry, and that's it. Oh, and of course you for broadcasting and Jimmy for putting on the race.
All right, buddy. It was a hell of a run for Garrett Caswell. Led 6th last, but will have to settle for 3rd tonight. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Yep, thank you.
Yep. That being said, we'll run through the results here. Caution-free race. Action all the way up from the beginning. They finally wrecked with within the last 500 feet. John Ward, the official finish, 1500ths of a second. Austin Green comes home second. Gary Caswell third. Kenneth McCullough Jr. fourth. Jeff Burrick leads the most laps tonight of 16. Unfortunately, he'll have to settle for a fifth spot position, but it does pay. It is fifth is a spot that is paying out money tonight, so not a complete loss. For Jeff Burrick, Mark Vondell 6th, Quentin Stanbach 7th, Jackson Buys 8th, Jason Brandt, Sean Corbett 9th and 10th, Richard Elliott, Steve Sizemore 11th and 12th, Benjamin Elliott, Sean Futrell, James Waring will round out the top 15. Christopher Carter, John Darnell, Michael Wingo 16th, 17th, and 18th. And then on through the field, we'll round it out. Joshua Halford, Joey Allen really lost the draft early in the race and really did not have a chance to even challenge for the win tonight. He'll have to settle for 20th. Justin Johnson, pit road penalties plagued the 82 tonight. He'll have to settle for the 21st spot. Carl Lingle and Ambrose Knievel will round out 22nd, 23rd, and Joshua McCullough didn't even start the race tonight. It will result in a 24th place spot for the 05. With that being said, still more action to come later on throughout the week. This is the only race I had scheduled for tonight. Appreciate everybody stick around and watching. Look forward to seeing y'all again in the near future. Until then, everybody, have a good night.